Hey everyone, it's very late at night while I'm recording this, and there's a long story behind some really unfortunate interactions that have been happening with programs in the background of our recordings the last couple weeks. And between Discord and other programs we were using, this podcast really suffered from technical malfunctions. And I considered for a long time not even putting it out, but we put 2 hours into recording it, and I put 3 hours into trying to fix it and reinstate some of the missing pieces of it. And while I think this is pretty subpar, we're leaving for vacation, all of us, for a few weeks, and it's super late, and I have to drive a car tomorrow, and I give up. So having put so much time into it, I've decided we're still going to air this episode despite its fallacies. The first part of the episode, all the video is corrupted and missing, and I don't have time to re-record an hour and a half worth of deck building while listening to it to try and recreate it. And in the second half of the video, Andy, my audio is just completely missing. The only workable audio that's available is JJ talking about the draft. My side is just gone, but there is video for that half, so maybe this is somewhat interesting. You can hear most of our conversation through JJ's responses to some of my questions, and there's a lot of theory crafting about how to draft from JJ that is very valuable, I think, if you're going to be drafting Magic the Gathering. I'm going to try and take some steps in the future to prevent problems like these from occurring again, but we're all just really busy all the time, and this is a side project, and sometimes stuff like this happens. Apologies for the letdown this week. We'll do better on the next one. We're going to do some more Magic today. You're recording locally. I guess I'm trusting Craig. What should I do? Should I record locally? I don't know.
I think the
Mine
best practices I see out there just say have everyone always record locally and Craig is a backup. That's what I see.
But that is best practices. Maybe we should switch to best practices instead of lazy practices.
We live on the edge and are our own people. So
we have been living on the edge, and it has started to bite us.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode number this is going to be. I think it's going to be 443 of We Were Gamers.
Solid.
A podcast. We're pre-recording because we're on vacation, but we're going to do some Magic.
Yeah, buddy.
Hi, JJ.
Hey, Andy. How's it going, man?
Good. I'm talking to you from the past or the future.
Ooh.
I feel like Usador the Blue.
Yeah, I am Usador. I don't know the rest of that intro because I haven't listened to that in quite a while.
Wizard of the 12th realm of Ephesius, master of light and shadow, manipulator of magical delights, devourer of chaos, champion of the great halls of Tarakas. The elves know him as Fiang Yelik, the dwarves know him as Zonanin Hustanchis, and in the northeast he's known as Gasmanius Maystar.
It's true, all of that, I think.
He's also known by other secret names that could melt your brain.
That's true. That's a little shout out to
Hello from the Magic Tavern.
Yeah, great show.
10-year podcast.
Still going, huh?
Still going. They just had their 10th anniversary with John Hodgman, and a bunch of other frequent guests came on, and
that's great.
They're I think they've been a little bit more aimless in the last 2 years. The podcast was very focused on current and modern events up until about the COVID era, and then it kind of, after COVID ended, like after the storyline of COVID in the podcast ended, it's been a little bit more distracted, I think, with people getting busy with other projects and stuff. And it's still good. It's still fun. They still have good guests.
For us all in some way, I suppose.
Yeah, they still have good guests and stuff, and they're still going. They have a Patreon also, which is I think getting a lot of their attention and their energy.
Yeah.
On like weird side project stuff.
Yeah, the Patreon stuff is great for people that have them, and I think it's awesome. You can support the people like that way, but it does lead to a case where if you aren't a part of the Patreon community, the free output I feel does suffer. And maybe that's how it should be. I don't know. Like it's not they don't owe you art for free. Like no big deal, right? So
I'm not complaining. I'm still listening. I've listened to every bit of it for 10 years. I'm just gonna keep listening until they're done. It's fine.
All right. So
I think
Andy,
yeah.
Oh, the train was veering off the tracks. I'm putting us back on the rails. The first ever in this podcast. Putting back on the rails instead of going off.
JJ, this motorcycle deck doesn't run on rails.
Does it?
No. We're gonna start this by saying we're gonna do a lot of different stuff today, but I want you to look over this motorcycle deck I made and improve it real quick.
Okay.
Because
is this a brawl deck?
No, this is a standard deck.
Okay.
But it does have two. This is the whole reason I made this deck is I pulled two Chandra Spark Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to one target vehicle. Until end of turn, it becomes an artifact creature and gains haste.
Okay.
You can sacrifice an artifact or discard a card and then draw a card.
That's +2, yep.
You can create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1, or dump 7 token and get an emblem, which is what?
An emblem is a thing on the side of the battlefield that is impossible to interact with. Basically, an emblem is like an ability you get forever that no one can take away from you and will be there until the end of the game.
Deal 3 damage to any target when an artifact you control enters. So, I want to base this deck around having two Chandras. You just look over what I did here.
Okay.
We got.
Okay, yeah, Temple. Temple is good. Verges are very good. You should run more of those.
Well, we can edit and add some stuff, but this is what I have without creating anything so far.
Okay. Do you have more temples or verges?
No, I would have added them. So if we add verge, we got to create it.
Got it. Okay, that's fine. Do you have more of these? No. Okay. Good. That's a great card. Yeah. Oh no, wait. This isn't the one I was thinking of.
This is a braided this is deal target damage. What were you thinking it was?
These are there's another colorless or a 2-color land cycle that taps and deals 1 damage to you to produce a color. But this is not bad for a common land. These are called the crime lands.
Okay.
So because
it triggers the crime.
That triggers a crime, right?
Got it.
So that's what those are. Those are pretty solid as bad tapped lands go.
Okay,
in general, any land that
we can improve these
bad,
lands if we want. If we think this deck is salvageable, we can improve these lands.
Immediately, if you're planning to play this standard, right? Like I just saw you scroll very quickly through the cards, and I don't know what most of these cards do. But immediately I saw there weren't a lot of 4-ofs, and that's a bad sign.
Okay, yeah, that's not a great sign, right? That's true. How do you feel about these roads? Because these are craftable also.
There's tapped, okay. Let's control a mount. So it could be untapped if we got enough mounts and vehicles. If
we have enough mounts or vehicles, right.
That's solid. And then we can create that pilots as though they were 3, even though they're 1/1.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to use it much for creating pilots, but...
You know what, though? Having more of those is probably good if you're going to have a lot of vehicles.
Yeah.
Because it's a land. It'll be an untapped land producing white most of the time for you.
Right.
And then if you draw them late in the game, it just makes a 1/1 for 2. That's not good, but it's not... No. It's better than a land. Like, in the late game, you don't need another land. You got 6 lands or whatever already. You're fine.
Right.
Like...
So maybe we want to craft more of that.
Yeah. I would put like 2 or 3 of those in there for sure. It's better than a plains, right? In most instances.
Which direction we want to go for looking at all these cards?
What do you think the intent? Do you really want to try and base it around Chandra?
I want vehicles and haste on vehicles.
Okay.
and making artifact creature vehicles into creatures quickly and just overwhelming people with vehicles like this.
Okay.
Right?
I need to look at some magic on my end also.
Yeah.
Uh, here.
So we got
So there
we
are
got
a
a lot
lot
of
of really
ideas
good
here.
vehicles and mounts in white.
Yep.
So you're in the right colors.
Okay.
Red is not really the color I would associate with good vehicles.
No, not really as I found, but Chandra's red white, I think.
No, Chandra's just red.
She's just red. But so I went with red white for whatever reason. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, like, there's a lot of decent and good mounts in white, so like maybe you were thinking that direction. That's like not horrible. There are a couple. Hold on, I was gonna search for mount. That's what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, we could just search mount, and then
try and
turn on crafting.
I should probably limit this to standard though, because
Yeah. Wow.
Me searching a bunch of stuff in timeless isn't gonna help.
No, that wouldn't help us.
No.
Yeah, there's a billion cards with mount that I don't have. So obviously we can craft more lands and stuff like that as things go.
All right. Yeah. So like, I'm looking at the Bulwark Ox.
Oh yeah, I got that. But that's a rare.
I know. I'm looking at stuff.
I only got 9 rares to work with.
I hear you. We're not gonna like drain all your rares on this. I'm just looking at other cards that do stuff. What about
Right.
Do you have Glory Heath Links?
Glory Heath Links. I do not, but it is an uncommon. We could easily make those.
This card is pretty good, and it actually leads to a great thing that I wanted to talk with you about in Limited,
Draft.
which is Draft. Yeah. This is what's called a Signpost Uncommon.
What is that?
And in limited terms, it's like, Limited and Draft mostly focus around commons and uncommons because there's the most of them, right?
Okay.
Like in a pack of cards, you get like 3 or 4 uncommons, and then like 7 commons, and then like 1 rare or mythic. So the rares and mythics in Draft, like, yes, they're extremely good usually. Not always though. Sometimes rares and mythics are absolutely horrible in Draft. But
fair enough.
The uncommons are kind of the things that like help you learn what kind of deck you're going to make out of your cards that you are drafting. This is one of those where like, hey, if you have this and a few other cards that synergize with this, that's a deck, man. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a great card just because it attacks while saddled. You get a land. And you get to put it in your hand. That's sweet. It's like drawing a card. Like,
yeah, I mean, you get a plane. Yeah, you draw planes and get it out of your deck.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as any card, right? Because like you could draw a spell or something otherwise, but getting the planes out of your deck and then making sure you always have land to play every turn, especially in Limited, is really important.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make a constructed deck here, but like that's a pretty good card. Like, and it does stuff. It gets you some lands.
Definitely look at adding this into this deck. I didn't look at creating anything yet. Things like this where maybe I should get this interface ace also, right?
There's different kinds. So like this is the thing I was asking about, like the directions you want to go. This is like really good at crewing and mounting, right? Because it's like 4 power will crew or mount almost anything. I don't think there's too many things that have that much.
Right.
So if you want to put in like big things that need crewing, like that Valor's flagship, or any of these other things, like you need something that can do crewing very well. But it also kind of runs in a like toughness matters kind of deck, Those rocky roads you might want to include too, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're gonna need to craft some stuff, so we're gonna have to talk about that. So we probably want to pull some mountains.
Yeah, you're gonna want to replace mountains and plains with the country roads and the whatever the red one was.
So we're gonna need to add Rocky Road, I think is what it was called.
You could probably just search road.
That's fine. We'll find it while we're talking.
Okay. And so my question was more like, what is your, there are such things as like toughness matters types decks. There are a lot of cards that are like, this creature deals damage equal to its toughness. There are cards that, care about the toughness of creatures and stuff like that. And Interface Ace, the one you were pointing at before, really does synergize well with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Because it cares about its toughness, right?
Yeah, we care about getting mounts and vehicles out, giving them haste and piloting them.
Okay.
Right? That's what Chandra seems to want to do. And if we get to Chandra, she's expensive. She's a 4-mana card.
Mm-hmm.
If we get to Chandra, we're going to be cooking if we can do those things. So
I'm looking at some of the stuff you got in here then. So I think, you got Bulwark Ox. That card's pretty solid. We're probably not going to want to keep the Glider.
No Glider, even though it's a cheap mount.
It's cheap, but you don't need a cheap mount. You just need some... The cheap cards are the things that saddle the good cards. And this is a 1/1, and it's not going to saddle very much, right? Or mount,
but
right?
When it's saddled, it's a 2/3.
Yeah, but that means you have to tap a 3-power creature to make this into a 2/3.
Remember that pilots are 3 saddlers.
Yeah. This is only profitable if you tap a pilot, right?
Okay.
And even then, you could have just attacked with the pilot as a 1/1 for the same amount of power, right? Because like this is a 1/2, or this is a 1/1 and that's a 1/1. You're not really
we decided we want to add. We decided we want to add this, right?
Yeah, I think we want to add a few of those.
We'll start with 4 or 2.
Generally 4. Like if the card is good enough to include in your constructed deck, you should include 4 copies.
Okay.
And then if there's some overriding reason why you shouldn't include 4, then we can drop it down.
Light wheel enhancement, enchant creature or vehicle, start your engines, which we don't have very much of. I think we're going to need to add some of that. Enchanted permanent gets 1/1 and has vigilance, max speed. I can take this out of my graveyard and keep putting it on things. Don't care?
I don't see why you would be doing that.
Crash through. Gain trample until end of turn, draw a card. I figured card draw might be good.
Yeah, card draw is real good. And these are not the best colors at card draw, so it's good to have stuff like this. I don't know if this is the one you keep longest term, but certainly including it is fine. And trample will be useful.
All right. This is probably a cut, but I had it.
Yeah,
to give
this the let's give some +1/+1 counters.
Yeah, so since they're artifacts, they get +1/+1 counters when they come in if this is level 2.
Okay. The one that I was thinking of is Caretaker's Talent.
That is only for tokens.
Yes, but you know what's a token? All those pilots you make from your lands.
Yeah, true. But since we're... I don't think Chandra's vehicles are a token.
Oh, they certainly are.
Oh, no, it's a token. Yeah.
They certainly are. Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of Caretaker's Talent. We could do that instead.
You do? If you have Caretaker's Talent, you should probably put it in. It's certainly better than that.
Okay.
I don't know how much we want to focus on tokens here.
I have 3 Caretakers. We could dump 2 of them in there.
Yeah, throw a couple in there. I think that's fair.
Okay. So Bulwark Ox, we might want to add more of these.
We can think about it, right? I know we don't want to run up all.
We don't want to burn lots of rares on this deck. Canyon Vaulter is a pilot. When this saddles a mount or crews a vehicle, that vehicle gains flying. But it's
a
maybe
3/1.
we just want to make pilot tokens instead.
Yeah, it itself doesn't. It's good for powering up other and using other vehicles, but wouldn't you rather just attack with a 3/1 most of the time?
Yeah, this gives something else flying, and if we give stuff haste, but we can dump it.
Yeah, I think we'll probably be okay.
Okay, dumped. Collision Course. Choose one. Collision Course deals X damage to target creature, where X is the number of permanents that are creatures and or vehicles, or destroy target artifact.
Yeah, it's good to have some utility stuff like this. I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is the one we keep. There are other white type removal spells that might be better.
Oh, we got Spot Cycle Scouter. When this enters Scry 2, crew 1.
So this is pretty decent in that it's a scry that you just play and it just does it, You
Yeah.
don't have to really do anything to get it.
So we keep it.
Yeah. Again, I don't know that you want 4 of that, but it's still pretty good. Because
Okay.
it can't attack by itself is the unfortunate part of it, right? You do have to have another
When
creature
this
out.
attacks create a treasure token, I think we might dump this.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
Okay. Kickoff celebration. Start your engines, which is good to get some of that in here. Enchantment. When this enchantment enters, discard a card. If you do, draw 2, which again, draw.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Max speed, sacrifice, creatures and vehicles gain haste. So I think we want to keep this.
I think you want 4 of this probably.
Okie dokie.
The max speed stuff, like if you get there, great. Like it means you're probably winning, and that's what you want. If you don't get there, well, you still get to discard a card and draw 2, which is neutral, right? Because this is a card, and you discard another card and then you draw 2. But neutral is pretty. Look, red takes the card draw where you can get it. Okay, like
right.
That's we'll accept that.
Gifted tap fish. As an additional cost, discard a card. Target player draws 2 cards. If gift was promised, target creature you control gains +2/+0.
So this is like card draw again. I think I like the other one better than this. Giving the creature +2/+0 is fun. But I think I would rather have the ability to like sacrifice the kickoff celebration that's sitting there and haste all my stuff and then hit someone in the face.
Red white. Legendary human pilot. Mounts and vehicles have haste. So this is one of those dudes that
pretty solid.
I like. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled. Whenever a vehicle you control enters, it becomes an artifact creature.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. If you have more of that guy, I would play it.
Maybe we want to make 1.
Yeah.
2 caretakers. Cloudspire captain. Vehicles and mounts get +1/+1. Creature saddles mounts 2 greater, so you could do up to 4 with this guy, but he's a 3-cost card. So
yeah, he's a lord for vehicles, which is cool. Lord is a thing that gives +1/+1 to a certain type.
Yeah, but I don't think we want 4 of this.
Yeah, I don't think you do, because unfortunately, like it only gives the +1 to mounts and vehicles. So like all the things you have that are crewing or mounting don't get any bonuses unless they themselves are also a crew or a mount. So
right.
Enduring Innocence is great. If you got more, include it. But I'm guessing you don't. That's fine. No. But that card is good and an absolute wonderful inclusion. How many? Real quick, this card is fine. It's not like lighting the world on fire, but it's totally fine. Click on the mana curve up there at the top, like the little. How many artifacts do we actually have in this deck?
We only have 5 right now, which is something I was going to talk about. Which is like we probably need to find more.
We do. Did we just remove this card? and then we don't have to worry about it?
Okay, well, I didn't know if it would make it better to find more artifact creatures.
There are, they're out there, right?
Yeah. Maybe we just dump it?
Yeah, maybe we just dump it, Okay.
There's
also, like, again, out there are a lot of cards that are like, play this artifact, like make a 1/1 or this artifact, cheap little artifacts that do things. If we want to go
remember that
in an artifact direction, we can add that stuff. But
yeah. So we're gonna look at this one and say this is probably a bad card. Whenever this creature attacks, you gain 2 or more artifacts. It gains +2/+1, so it becomes a 4/4. I was thinking with Chandra's ability, we might want this, but I think we also probably want more vehicles and more making pilot tokens than this.
Yeah, kind of with you.
Okay. Blockbuster, Human Berserker. When this enters, sacrifice a creature or vehicle. When you do, destroy target artifact.
You need spells or things that kill stuff. So this is probably at least one of the better ones of that in the kind of deck that you're going for here with vehicles and stuff.
Okay.
The real answer is like you should just run some red cards that just like blow stuff up or deal damage to things.
So dump this guy.
Yeah, probably.
War Leader's Call.
Sweet.
Creatures get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters, deal 1 damage.
Yeah, solid.
I don't think we have another one, but there might be another one of these enchantments that do the same thing.
White version.
I think there's a red version.
Okay. Oh, no, that searching deal damage is
I don't.
That's a wide net you've cast.
How do I find it? I don't. I probably go to enchantment.
Yeah, if you think it's an
hit
enchantment.
Okay. Turn off craft. Impact tremor. That's the one I'm thinking of. It's strictly worse.
It is strictly worse, right? But
it's common
and it's cheaper, right?
Yeah. So maybe we want to add impact tremor.
If you're going to add impact tremors, I think you really want to move this deck in a different direction than you were talking about, because what you want with impact tremors is just make as many cheap tokens as possible.
Okay, so we don't want that.
Ping people, yeah.
Okay.
That card's all right though, because you have enough like creatures that you'll get use out of that. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to be doing artifact stuff, man.
Okay. This also returns enchantments though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we don't care.
Good for it. Again, look at the card.
Again, we're sacrificing kickoff celebrations and stuff like that, right? Or we don't care at that point if we've sacrificed all of them.
Once you sacrifice the kickoff celebration, you're going to hit him in the face for 14 damage, you hope.
Okay, so we're dumping that.
In general, though, that card, because it was a 2/5, if we were doing the interface ace, like toughness matters kind of deck, that would go great in there.
Okay. Chandra.
If you're trying to really build around Chandra, you probably need 4.
I don't have 4.
Okay.
But she is mythic.
Yeah.
And we don't use mythics that much, right?
Mythics are less used than rares in general.
Okay. But we can't play 4 Chandras, so.
Yeah, but you want to draw it, right?
True.
You got 60 cards. You got to draw stuff sometimes.
Okay. Reckless Velocitar. When this creature saddles, that mount or vehicle gets +2/+0 and gains trample, but it's a 4-cost card.
Interesting. 4 costs, I don't really like that effect, but I don't know that we have better options so far.
Well, we do need to make. We are almost at 60 cards, and we still need to make pilots and get more mounts and vehicles. I think.
I'm not mad at this guy yet.
Yeah, but I think he's on the chopping block.
Yeah, he's on the short list to go for sure.
This is a 4-cost vehicle flying. When this enters, distribute 2 1/1 counters among 1 or 2 other target vehicles or creatures.
It's not bad. It's a cheap crew cost too.
Yeah.
The thing that this deck doesn't seem to have yet, and maybe we'll find one here at the back end or something, is like a really big like vehicle that you play that like the opponent is like, damn, I'm screwed.
Okay.
This is not that, but this is not bad.
We still need to like make pilots and give stuff haste, right?
Well, the enchantment's giving haste, right? Kickoff.
If we sack it, yeah. Spire Mech Cycle, haste, exhaust, tap another untapped mount or vehicle. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put a 1/1 counter on it for each mount or vehicle you control. I think this is our monster guy that you're talking about.
Yeah. Exhaust you can only do 1 time, to be clear. Like you use the exhaust ability, it's gone.
Yeah, but this has haste. So we've made a bunch of vehicles with Chandra. It's late in the game.
Then I see.
Drop.
The thing about the exhaust ability is you can crew this one time. You can crew this with anything, even just a regular 1/1 that doesn't have any bonuses, and then you get to put a 1/1 counter on this for each mount or vehicle you control, other than this one. Which then, in theory, you tap like your crappy fish token or something, and you get a bunch of, other vehicles that give this like a huge bonus. So yeah, I think you're right. This is the big ender kind of card.
So we might need to add more of these.
It's a consideration for sure.
Okay. Push the limit. Return all mounts and vehicles from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Vehicles become artifact creatures, and they gain haste until end of turn.
Okay. This is also the big payoff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Heck to pay. Deal X damage to target creature. Create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to excess damage.
Not bad. It's a funny version of this effect, right? Because it's like you attack, you have to pay X to get those extra treasures, right?
And then sack it's like mana sinking for next turn.
For next turn, right? It's not a bad effect. Like you will use the mana later eventually, right?
Yeah.
But if
I
you
don't
have
think we
some,
want to make extras of these,
no,
but it's an interesting card to have, maybe.
it's also a
To fill
sorcery, which is a bummer. We would love to have an instant, right?
instant. Yeah. Pedal to the metal. Creature token. Target creature gets X0, gains first strike.
I don't think we're keeping that.
Dump. All right. Do we have more cuts?
I don't feel too like it needs a bunch more cuts. You got to remember, like you're worried about making enough pilots and stuff, but that's what all those lands are for, baby. That's why you got
Yeah,
those lands.
we're gonna add those lands for sure because they're commons.
Yeah.
We can. Oh no, they're uncommons, but that's fine.
Yeah, you can add all those lands. It'll be fine. You'll have
Okay.
tons of stuff.
So we've got at least 3 spots we need to fill in here to either add vehicles or make tokens, or add to these cards that are already here.
I'm trying to see. Is there? Do you have? There are more cards than that create pilot tokens. So
Yeah, why is it only showing this one?
I don't know. Is it the only one that's in your colors somehow? Oh, do you have a click off
Enchantment.
colorless? Oh,
I
yeah,
have enchantment still on.
There we go. You gotta copy that flagship. What's that flagship do?
Flagship. What's flagship? Oh, here. Fly. It's huge though. It's 7 mana. Flying, first strike, lifelink, crew 3, and cycling.
Interesting. Oh, I
It's
see. You cycle
too
it.
slow, I think.
You create a bunch of pilots. And I see what they want you to do here. It's like, oh, cycle this into the graveyard, bring it back somehow, and then attack with it or something. But yeah, you're right. We're not playing a 7-mana card. That's not happening.
I think it's too slow.
Yeah, that's not happening.
We got this guy that we haven't used either.
Scry 2, tap, create a X pilot creatures where X is the number of mounts or vehicles that entered under your control this turn.
I think we want this guy.
Yeah, it's not bad. He's a 3/1. I like it.
Okay. Do we want 2 of him?
How many? We're below 60 still, right? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. We could add 2.
What's our 2 mana slot looking like? How many 2s? We have
Huge.
a lot of 2s. Maybe we don't want this guy. Maybe we
maybe we want to see if there's better versions or some other 2s we can cut, like this guy.
Oh, that's a 3.
Oh, that's a 3. Sorry. 2s. So Colodin, which is the legendary.
Yeah.
That we're thinking about making a second.
Let's see what we got.
Kickoffs, Potter Cycle, Glory Heath, Links, Collision
Links.
Course.
Let's not waste a rare on the second Ox. I think.
No second Ox. We don't need the mounts. Okay.
Well, I mean,
maybe we don't waste a rare on this guy.
The Lynx is a mount. That guy is a mount. Yeah. All right. So this opens up our 2 spot a little bit. Let's see if we can get some either 3s or 1s.
For creating pilots, this is a 3. Enchant aura, enchant creature of you. I think we don't want that though. I think we want to either get more things out or draw or deal with stuff on their side of the board, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for like cheap removal spells.
Red has lots of that.
Yeah. Well, like the problem is good. It has them, but do you want them?
Yeah.
You know what? Do you have? Let me hold on. Does this card do what I think it does? I'm looking for something else. Hold on. I have a filter on. Is this card inside
deck building?
I think it is.
We're gonna do a lot of deck building today. We're gonna stop this deck building and do other deck building.
Do you have Witch Stalker Frenzy?
Is that red?
Yes. Maybe search Frenzy.
Are you sure it's red?
Yeah.
Why am I not seeing it?
Take colorless off. Oh, I don't know.
Frenzy. Is it not legal and standard? Maybe.
It should be. It should be.
See, I've had this happen to me before where it says that. Wait, what? Oh, what's going on there?
Well, now it's showing you every card in the filter that you have.
It wasn't. It was the crafting said it was on, but it was not on.
Yeah. So this is
That was a bug.
this is a pretty solid removal spell. It rotates somewhat soon, but it's an uncommon, like whatever.
Okay.
When you attack, like this card costs 4, right? But when you attack with even 2 creatures, it now costs 2 and deals 5 damage to a creature. That's pretty solid. Like that will get through most.
And this is an instant, so we can do it to blockers before.
Yes. So the funny thing is that cost 1 less to cast for each creature that attacked this turn. Works both ways, their attack or yours.
Oh.
The problem is that you can't count on them to attack with the right number of creatures.
How many do we want? We want 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 at least, I think. Maybe 3. It's a good removal spell. The downside of it is if you're not attacking, you're generally trying to use this in an offensive manner.
Sure.
And if you're not attacking, it's not very good. But you could say that if you're not attacking, your deck is probably losing. So that's you know.
All right. Are we happy?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Craft all.
What's our our curve is looking pretty decent.
Yeah. 2 with 2s and 4s.
Yeah.
With 23 lands.
23 is an okay number of lands. Your curve isn't super high. In general, like the average Magic deck I think says 24. If you're curving higher, you might go up to 25 or 26. If you're curving lower, you might go down as low as 18.
Now this implies we only have 4 vehicles and 5 mounts, is that right?
It's not counting exactly. That's the number of cards with the subtype vehicle and the number of cards with the subtype mount. So, that's a fair number of the cards in your deck when you add those together, right? It also doesn't count that, Chandra doesn't count as either of those, but she makes both of those, right?
Fair enough.
Any of the cards that create something out of it don't show up there.
All right, we're crafting. All right, so JJ.
Andrew.
Did you have a nice break?
Yeah, it was nice.
The impetus for today was based on the last episode. We talked a lot about collecting and where Magic was at, and then we did some Magic game and all that sort of stuff. But one section of Magic I haven't even tried is the limited format. Mm-hmm. I'm in Silver now, but I haven't done any limited stuff, and I kind of feel lost there.
Okay, so the greatest thing we can do here is in Magic. There's a few different ways. If you open the little play tab, it's easier to see the formats. Yeah. Click over to events.
Events.
There. Yep. Scroll here on the left, or you can filter for limited on the right if you want, just to make it clear which ones matter. So here are the options we have to play limited in Magic right now. Right.
We are done playing jump in. I'm gonna say that I've done 2 jump ins. I got a Krenko out of it. I feel like that's as good as it gets until Final Fantasy shows up.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know how they do the jump in with the new sets. So your options here are Quick Draft, Premier Draft, and Traditional Draft, right?
Okay, I see the 3 different types. Yeah.
The thing about Traditional Draft is that the matches are best of 3, which is nice. So if you get completely mana screwed or whatever, you don't have to feel that bad. You can actually have a second game. The other ones are all best of 1 games.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between Premier and Quick is Quick Draft is against bots. So you don't have to draft against people, which has pluses and minuses because people are going to act different than bots will. And you're more likely to get weird drafts out of playing in the Premier Draft. The difference is the Premier Draft is also more expensive.
Right. So and we got to worry about money, right?
Yeah, so let's not click on the... We're not going to draft Alchemy because Alchemy is a stupid format. But just click on the Premier Draft Aether Drift. We're not going to do this, but let's look at it. So it costs 10,000 gold to enter in theory, right?
Whoa.
1,500 gems.
Okay.
Now you get the thing about draft is all the cards you get are yours. You keep them. So
Okay.
you are picking cards to keep forever. So you don't want to draft bad cards.
Right, sure.
But look at, depending on how many wins your deck gets, you keep playing until you get 3 losses. You earn a bunch of stuff besides the cards you draft. So you can earn some gems, you can earn some packs.
You can turn gold into gems.
Yes, you can. At a not great rate until you start getting above 4 wins here. So if you think you're pretty good at draft and like you kind of know what you're doing, if you can pull off 4, 5, 6 wins, 7 wins on your draft, you are going to be like liquidating your gold into gems quite well, right?
Yeah.
But if you're only going to get 1, 2, 3 wins, you are going to have a bad time, and this was not a good use of your money. So that's the premier draft. Jump back, and we'll go to quick draft here. Note that these are different sets, right? So that was Aether Drift. This is Foundations.
Okay.
So half price first.
Oh, yeah.
Half price for the same amount of cards in the draft, right? The actual drafting part, you get the same amount.
Sure.
But look at the rewards, not as good.
Less packs for sure.
Less packs for sure.
Way less gems.
Way less gems, but less money.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's less than half. So like 7 wins over there was 2,200 and this is 950. So that's only 1,900.
Yes. Yes. You have to do the math on how much is a pack worth versus how many gems is a pack worth technically and how much gold is worth and all this stuff. But also it talks about a bonus pack here. There's the chance that you get extra out of doing these. The other nice thing about the quick draft, which I think is what we're going to do today, is that there's no timers on the packs, so we can just sit there and talk about
the picks
as long as we want.
Okay.
Yeah. Foundations is a good set in general anyway, because it has cards that are going to stay legal for a very long time.
Okay.
So collecting a lot of it isn't going to hurt you any. And a bot draft is nice. So
what does a pack cost these days?
It's 1,000 gold. I don't know.
So you're getting 5 packs basically. If you get 5 packs, you break even.
In a draft, in theory, if you pick every rare that you get, you will probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 5 rares from a draft.
Okay.
Now, you're not going to be able to control any of them, obviously.
No.
And then there's the thing of well, if I pick every rare I'm getting, am I getting any good cards? Because a lot of times, sure, the first pack, when you open the pack, right, the rare is probably the first thing you want to look at and take. But is it good in your colors? Is it going to go with the deck you're making? Or would you rather pick a card that's actually going to help you win and get more of these gems and packs, as opposed to just getting one rare that you're never going to use? Well, you know what else is interesting, Andrew? Drafting. Hopefully. Here is the plan. You have what are your tokens up there? You got a few tokens. Okay, so the token can't be used for quick draft. Maybe when you feel a little better about how limited works, you can kind of do that. The one thing we should look at before we go in, take a look on the left at that scroll bar. It gives you, here are the kind of archetypes that exist, the 2-color archetypes that exist in most drafts, right? Every draft format has its own set of these archetypes. So let's take a look at them and see which ones in here, call out to you, and we'll see which ones we could get, right? Because the other thing is you'll open a pack. What cards are available? Can we make one of these? Generally, is what you want to try and do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get them. Mm-hmm. Okay. got some ramp and green blue. Ramp into green stuff. Okay. So it's good to have these thoughts in mind, right? These power generation, 1/1 counters, life gains, spells, all this kind of stuff in mind. And then in general, when you're drafting to build a collection, which I think is kind of, a secondary goal for you, but at least a goal, probably want to be paying gold, because this is an opportunity for you to convert gold to gems. Yep. So the nice thing about this, because this is a bot draft, we can just sit here and talk about these cards, and we don't have to pick immediately. In the Premier and... No. Every pack has a land. This is emulating a real pack. There are sometimes different kinds of lands. Like maybe there would be a 2-color land there, or a land that, like those crime lands we talked about earlier, right? Who knows? All right, so the first thing we do, let's look at the rares. What do we got? Rares are the first cards, usually. Oh, wow, I can only barely read the text on that. Okay, Crystal Barricade. Yeah, that card's not good. Are you highlighting it? Can you highlight it with your mouse? That'll make it easier for me to read. Yep, there we go. Okay, yeah, that Crystal Barricade is terrible. Don't pick that card. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's think about it. That is our number 1 pick so far, right? That's the best option we see currently. Mm-hmm. That's a gremlin, not a god. So generally, you want to go in order of rarity, right? It's because the more rare cards are usually more powerful. Swiftfoot Boots is a commander all-star, but not very good in 1v1. Yeah, but you don't need to play this in limited. Not that it's not useful. Like you play, it's all right. What is Stroke of Midnight? It's the first uncommon. We did not look at it. So this is a premium removal spell, right? Like this is 3 mana cost. Destroy anything. They got Planeswalker. They got some crazy rare. Whatever, it's dead. They get a 1/1 white human instead. Very preferable. You're probably gonna... Yeah, so this is a card. This is the kind of card to like be aware of and go, okay, if this card comes back around, we snap pick it, right? But I think we might be building a token green deck. The other thing about drafting is you need to be willing to pivot, right? And this is the first pick in the first pack. We're taking that Sylvan Scavenging. But the question is, if you tap it, does it automatically pick it, or does it just highlight it? Okay, good. So that's our pick. The question is, like, when this pack comes back around, what else is good in this pack that we would want, right? So if you click on your name up at the top there. Yep, just click on that. It should open up a thing. Does it not? I guess it's because it's a bot draft. So when you're playing in a traditional draft, you click on that, it'll show you a circle and people and who has packs, because like a Magic the Gathering draft is usually 8 people, each with a pack, and you open the pack and take a card from it and pass it to the left or the right, whichever way it goes, right? And that pack goes around the table multiple times. So we will see this exact pack again, but with a bunch of the cards taken out. With a bunch of the cards taken out of it. Yeah. So what else in here would be good, right? And, you got to expect the rares won't be there, although maybe Crystal Barricade will. I don't know. We don't want that. But, what else is good in here? That Treetop Snare Spinner isn't bad. Giant Growth is fine. That Beastkin Ranger can do some stuff. The Icewind Elemental is pretty good. So it's just take note of this kind of stuff, right? And then we take the Sylvan Scavenging and we hit confirm and we're done, because that's the end of that pack. All right. Pack 1, pick 1. All right, now we're on pack 1, pick 2. This is the second pick out of... So, like, you're going to draft 3 full packs because this is the first set of packs for everyone, right? You're going to draft all the cards in all of these packs, and you're going to open a second pack, and then you're going to draft all the cards in that pack, and then you're going to draft all the cards in a third pack. There are three packs, and you will get 15 picks or so from them total, right? So immediately we want to go look at the uncommons, because that's the stuff that's, you know, again, the signpost uncommons I talked about a little bit earlier, right? Like, where's the stuff in here? What is it doing? It's like a spells matter kind of deck, so maybe, I don't know. Flashback, you can play from the graveyard. Interesting. So that is a 6 mana card, but when it comes in, it kills something else probably, because 4/4 is pretty decently big. So that's not a bad option. That's pretty good. We like that, and it gives your other flying creatures bonuses, which is nice. But you don't. Again, the nice thing is that you can pivot, right? You don't have to play the green card that you picked. You want to, but you don't have to. And if you like, if clearly no one picks all the flying cards and you start picking them now, like, that's a big bonus to you, right? Yeah, but, you know, maybe that flying card will come back around if no one else is picking the flying stuff, right? So you're not going to want to sacrifice your own creatures, though. That looks like it's more like a black type card. What's this rebuke? So 2 mana blow up their thing that's attacking you as an instant. That's pretty good. That's a consideration for sure. Yeah, that card was common too, but it's okay. Like, sometimes a good common removal is better than a an uncommon that you can't use. I want to be clear that the strategy in these things is the first pack, you should not commit yourself completely to a decided thing. The first card you pick, if you can build a thing based on that, awesome. If you can't, that's fine. You don't have to play every card that you pick. So, Grow from the Ashes is an okay ramp spell. Burst Lightning, that red, really good. Like, it's just better shock. Shock that you can pay extra to deal more damage. Like, that's pretty good. You asked, like, why would you get a land? Well, look at the land in this pack, right? This is a black-white dual land now. So, we're probably not interested in black-white. But I think the best cards here are either the Eagle, the Luminous Rebuke, or maybe? I don't think you would pick Grow from the Ashes. There's a decent chance Grow from the Ashes comes around again. Or, I guess the Sylvan Scavenging. Can we look at that again? Like, just hover over it. The one you picked. The one you picked already. Yeah. So it cares about creatures 4 or greater. That big green guy is 4 or greater. There's also an option there, right? Do you want to try and make big green things? Okay. Alright, let's see what we got here. There's so... Yeah. So, Thousand Year Storm is not very good in Limited. How many times do you think you're going to cast a bunch of spells in one turn, which is what this wants? And then basically every time you cast a new spell, the new spell gets Storm for the number of spells you've cast previously, which then can go crazy. Storm's a really powerful mechanic, but you're not really too likely to use it. This is a nice addition to certain other deck that you might have. The problem is this will be terrible in limited. You're almost never likely to have a bunch of creatures of the same type to get a big bonus off that from. Right, and the raccoon is a raccoon, not a beast, so you can't use it that way. Yeah, so if you're making +1/+1s, that's a pretty good one. The only other question we want to ask here, Lunar Insight, the rare at the top left, it triggers off mana values. So it's like if you have a 1, a 2, and a 3, and you play this, then you draw 3 cards, right? Do we think that's better or worse than... You can't really control the kinds of mana values you're going to have out there. Yeah. I think maybe we pick this Insight. It's not, like, amazing, but it's not too bad. Yeah. It's also creature protection, really. Like, it draws a card, yeah, but, like, who even cares about that? Well, I mean, you do care about it, but the second sentence is the thing that's awesome. It's like, they cast a spell to destroy your creature, and now it's indestructible, and they lose, alright? Yeah, alright. Inspiring Call is pretty good. We can go with that. Alright. So we start with the uncommons always. Wants you to cast a lot of spells, basically. Yeah, that card's... Yeah, but, you know, a lot of draft left to do, so... Make a lot of rats. Creature can't be blocked. Again. Yeah. We're all combat damage that would dealt to it. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice as a common goes. I mean, you're not too interested in those uncommons, right? So, Fleeting Flight is our top choice right now. What are those red? What are those red cards? We could do green-red. That's an option. All right. It's just like a big when you. Expensive things are more likely to happen in limited, just because no one has decks that can be super optimized. Yeah. Yeah, that's not... It's a good effect for you, but it's not amazing. Like, yeah, I don't know. We don't... That's a good spell in, like, a best of 3 format, but I don't know that we ever really want to main deck it. What is... Yeah, I think I like the flight better. The problem you'll have with Rogue's Passage is you'll have it and then need a green and then be super annoyed. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I think it's this. Yeah. Let's take a look. Cathar Commando is pretty decent too, though. That's not a bad card. So it says 2 mana, but what it really should say is 3 mana, blow up their artifact or enchantment that's screwing you over, is really what that's for. But I think Horn Beetle is still better for the kind of thing you're doing. Plus, it has the synergy with the Sylvan Scavenging, right? Because it'll just, if you have a big creature, it'll keep getting big. Yeah. Dwynen's Elite, a classic card. Elves are really strong. Here's the thing. Elves are really powerful if you get a lot of elves. If you just have one elf, it's not very good. 2 mana for a 2/2, like in Dwynen's Elite, is not very good. But 2 mana for a 2/2 and a 1/1 is amazing. We're taking that Horn Beetle. Yep, I think so. Because the other thing, again, like, we have to think about, like, well, what's going to come back around to us, you know? Oh, that's nice. The little thing. What button were you pressing there? Alt? Oh, that's fun. It tells you how many of those copies of those cards you own. I think that's what that's telling you. It's kind of nice. All right, let's take a look at that whelp. What is the Or the Sky Mage, maybe. Maybe we do green-blue? That's a pretty solid effect, man. I like that. So, like, basically, you play this, and then the next turn it becomes a 2-2, and then a 3-3, and so on and so forth. It's not bad. So this one's non-creature spells. We're not doing a ton of those. Yeah, or dragons, I suppose. Alright. What's our next blue one here? Cheapens your non-creatures. Yeah. Yeah, there's a combo deck that uses that card. It's not so good. Green, black, look, you're going to be forced to take spells like this potentially by the end. And this is like a bad Thoughtseize, kind of. So basically it's like a 4-2 that comes in and causes them to lose some life. This is a pretty solid card. That's pretty solid. What's the last one here? I like that. That's pretty good. Yeah, maybe we go with the green one. Fight down. Bite is a cool effect because it doesn't require them to fight. Yeah, I wheeled, huh? No, is that even the same pack? It might not be. Yeah, I don't think it is. Well, we'll probably take that, but let's look at the other stuff here. Nah. So, no, because it can't destroy a 3-power. Yeah, it's worse, right? It doesn't give them a 1/1, but you would prefer the one that destroys anything. So this isn't a bad card. So if you pay 5 instead of 2. Yeah, I think there were some hard picks before, but yeah, the question is, like, you know, how many 1/1 counters do we have yet, though? I think we take the removal. You have a number of 1/1 counters. I still think you take the removal. Yeah, I'm with you. That Gnarlid Colony is a solid card, though. We should consider it. Okay, this is the pack from before, maybe. No, maybe not. Okay, what's that blue do? It's so expensive. And stun it. Man. So tap it for 2 turns, effectively. Yeah, we don't really want it unless we had a... I'm not against that. Yeah, but sometimes it's flash, which is pretty nice. So you can, like, flash it in and blow up someone's block or something. It's not... Yeah, they're attacking you, and you flash this in and block their guy, and their guy dies unexpectedly. That's the giant... I guess the options are Giant Growth or the Wolf, right? The Axe Guard is not bad, but the question is, do you want to dip red also, right? Probably not. Probably don't want to be 3 colors. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Giant Growth, maybe Wolf, either one. We don't have a lot of either... I think either of those could be fine. We don't want a ton of Giant Growth, but we don't want a ton of that Wolf either, so, you know. Like, 1 Giant Growth is going to be totally fine, but we don't want, like, 3, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's okay. We could take that Treetop Spinner, that's not too bad. Or the Iced Wind Elemental? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you gotta pick all the way through, right? You gotta complete the pack. It goes down to 1 card, and you'll get that last card. So now we're getting to the point where you gotta say, like, hey man, I might just be picking these cards and not playing them. I think you're less likely to use the amulet because it involves sacrificing your own creatures. What about like what does Sure Strike do? I just want you to hover over it so I can see what it does. Yeah, okay, we don't want that. This is like protection. When it dies, it comes back. Meh. Witness protection is kind of removal because it takes whatever their giant thing is and turns it into a 1/1, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, sure. So here's what I would do. Oh, take the amulet now in your deck over here. You can just drag it down to the sideboard. Yeah. As many as you want. You can put your whole deck down there. Yeah. This is just for, organization's sake, right? When the draft completes, you'll get a screen that shows you and you can like make your deck. Because what's going to happen is, no matter what, you're not going to have enough lands. So then you have to add, you have to get up to 17 lands. You should run 17 lands in your limited deck always. So if you have 25 cards and you add 17 lands, well, now you're going to have to make a bunch of cuts, right? So that's always how it's going to go. And there's no problem with that. So just organizing stuff that you want straight into the sideboard so you don't bother with it. That's not bad. We're going to end up with bad cards here because there aren't any good ones left, so. Yeah, but you don't need to take a planes because you can get planes for free later. So I think you either take the Rupture or the Blast, and we see how it goes. Because, what if the next pack, right? Take that Broken Wings. Who knows? You might use it. Probably not. Broken Wings is one of those cards you probably cut first, right? Sure, Thrill of Possibility. Why not? The thing... Oh, hey, too. Wow. Awesome. The thing we're learning here is a lot of the other people at this table don't seem to want red. That's what I learned. All right. New pack. And now we're passing the other direction. So... Yeah, he'll come around. What's our rare? What's our rare? We always got to start at the top and work down, right? Oh, that's a fun effect. We don't want this though. Hilarious card. I love it. No, it's not awesome. It will get people, but it is not that good. Yeah. Hitasugu's is a hilarious card. Very hilarious. But yeah, I don't know that we want it here, necessarily. Tatyova. It's a powerful effect. But yeah, I don't know that we're picking. That's not bad. Well, we don't know yet. But what kind of types do we have? Let's hover our guys. What do we got? Beast. That makes... Insect. So we don't have a lot there. So I'm not too excited about that, but maybe we take it anyway. Take their guy. We could take another bite down too. Bite down's pretty good. Gold Vein pick is not that bad either. Every time you attack, you make a treasure. It's pretty solid. Would help get our guys. Yeah, true. All right, yeah, sure. Take the Courtyard. It could be worse. Mizzet. Mythic. I don't think that card's very good, man. So this is now you're at the point where hey, what do you care about, right? Do you care? You want to win? Then you don't pick that card. It got passed for a reason. That's pretty good. That's an instant. You don't have to pick. That's the wonderful thing. We'll think about that one. We're probably picking this. That looks real good. The hair is nice if you can make the hair deck. Yeah, yeah. What's that white lion over there? The cat. Okay. We'll think about it. But yeah, we'll take the good. And it has the 4 mana or 4 toughness thing that we want. I think we take the unicorn though. Yeah, certainly. I agree. This is one of your signpost uncommons, right? Like it's clearly meant for the creature +1/+1 counter deck, right? Oh, bro, you got to take a second one. You took the first one, you got to take the second one. Let's look real quick. That whelp is not good. Felidar Savior is a good card, and Healer's Hawk is actually pretty good as a 1/1 because it has flying. Like, that's pretty sick. I think you do. I think you do. So now we are getting pretty close to committed to green-white. As an organizational thing, let's move those red cards down into your sideboard just to make ourselves, a little more aware of what we're doing here. And then, yeah, you pick that unit. All right. Does it make noises? I can't hear him. That's not bad. What's the... That's not bad. Yeah, that triggers multiple things. I think we need creatures. I think we have a lot. We have several spells. I think we want to get some creatures. I think let's take the creature. If Inspiring Call comes around again, we're picking it. You never know. You never know. Yeah, that's pretty good. What's that Inspiring Paladin up to? Yeah, I like that. What are our other... Bite down? We already got a couple bite down. Oh, we only have 1 bite down. I think you take the Paladin. Yeah, I think you take the Paladin. We have a lot of 3 mana spells already, but I think you still take this because this card is good. That's a cool... Burnished Heart is pretty nice. That'll help fix your mana. Because, like, hold on. Wait, did I read it right? Hold on. Go back over it. Put them onto the battlefield. Yeah, even though you put them on tapped, like, you get this, you get two. Even if, like, I don't know, 3 is not a top end, like 4 and 5, like, you'll get there eventually. But, like, the nice thing about this is, like, you'll draw a hand, it'll have only white and this. You play this, and now you have 2 forests, and you're good to go with all the cards in your deck. So, yeah, I think we take the heart. Yeah, agreed. The picks get a little easier as you go. Oh, yeah, dude. Elvish Root Grower? That looks solid, man. That's pretty solid, yeah. Yeah, it's a tap land anyway, like, whatever. You take the land, it's better than all the bad other cards. Maybe. It might be one more. Let's look at Grow from the Ashes really quick before we decide between the other 2. Right. Okay. That is a lot of mana fixing. Burnished Heart is a little better just because it's a body, This costs around the same amount total, though, because I think if you hover over a Burnished Heart, you have to pay to use its ability, right? Right. But no body. So, you know, little pluses and minuses there. I don't know. But maybe we want the elephant or the call more. That's protection for your dudes is not bad. This that's pretty decent too. I think you got a lot of 3. I think you could support one more big guy like that. Yeah. Or I think the choice is, do you want the ramp or the elephant? I think that's the choice here. No, we probably will not. In fact, I know we will not. Yeah, there's it. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a reasonable choice. Yeah, well, this is how it goes, right? So, none of these look super awesome. Maybe let's take involuntary employment or one of these black cards. Like, okay, here's the thought, right? Which of these spells do you think would be the worst if your opponents had it? And we pick that. Okay. So we don't want them to have Hitotsugu, so then grab that and put it in your sideboard. Okay. You're not going to be playing these cards because these are bots, right? So, but there's the elephant. So that was a smart pass we made earlier. The number of other creatures you control named heir apparent. Yeah, you're not likely to get... Maybe we get one more, and then that would be it. I think you take the elephant. Guess so. We can at least play it. Even if we cut it later, at least we had it. At least it's playable. Okay. Nah. Yeah, I think... We don't want more than 2 inspiring calls, but we don't want a ton of giant growths either, so I think, yeah. Sure, yeah. Yep, no choice, gotta pick. Alright, let's fix up our stuff here. You don't have to, or you can, whatever is your opinion on that. Yep, let's look at the rare. This is a land that becomes a creature. And note that doesn't say until end of turn. It just permanently becomes a 3/3 creature. It's a good ability. 3/3 is decent in limited. Anything that cares about yeah. That's not bad. Yeah, but like, you know, making your dudes bigger is better. Well, Soulstone Sanctuary costs 4 to turn into something, right? So. Yeah, we are now at the point where like taking cards out of theme doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's a life gain. Okay, that's pretty good. That fits our theme. Yeah, not bad, but I don't think we need it. This puts it on top. Yeah, that's not amazing, but... Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of 3-cost cards. And we have a couple of ramp spells. Maybe we take the Felidar Savior or the Soulstone Sanctuary. Yeah. Yeah, how many cards? Yeah, I think you're right. I think you take the rare, right? I think the nice thing about Soulstone Sanctuary is like we could use Secluded Courtyard on it later if we had to. The elf guy, mate. That guy's really good if you got elves. Not very good if you don't. Totally solid card. Like, very usable. Yeah, what's the one at the bottom? Oh, bro. You want Bushwhack. This card is legit. Bushwhack, so hold on. Look at that card. Do you understand why it's so good? Yeah. Like, the really sweet thing about Bushwhack is it does both, you know? And it's 1 mana. So it's like 1 mana, fix your colors. It's like, oh, I have all green, I need some white. Ah, fix that. Or, when you don't have that, hit someone with your big guy. Yeah. Bushwhack is great. Also, we could use some cards that aren't 3 mana, so. Cool for a deck that isn't ours. That's a powerful effect. I don't know that we want it, but it's not. We could play it, which is more than we can say about some of these other cards. Oh, okay. All right. So, let's look at our creatures. How many do we have that would hit this effect of creatures power 2 or less? Is that what it says? Hold on. Is it power or power 2 or less? Okay, so it doesn't matter their mana cost. Only got 1 so far. 2, 3, 4. Burnished Heart, right? 5. 5. And you're gonna look through 4 cards. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. But it's like a 3/4, so it's already like decently big. We need some creatures anyway, right? Like ones with upside. Yeah, what's the cat druid? That's pretty good. I guess the choice here is, do we think we're going to play a long game or do we think we're going to play a quicker game? Maybe we want the quicker game. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. We could use some 2 mana cards. And more dudes would be beneficial. And this is a dude. No, but actually worth noting that, like, you can search this and it plays it and then you get the 3/3s, right? So like, this is actually a, what, 7 mana or 7 power card, right? Because you get 2 3/3s and a 1/1. But yeah, we'd probably rather not take that if we don't have to. More +1/+1 counters from the guide, pretty good. Yeah, we already got a lot of 3-slot cards though, man. I don't know. Yeah, I think we take the guy that does the counters, right? Because we have stuff that synergizes with counters. I think it's better to keep doing that than to try and split ourselves up. No. 4 mana to give your guy +2/+0, and first strike doesn't feel good. Like, are we excited about that Armasaur? No, but, you know, doing it is not bad. Yeah, well. So that's like a life gain kind of thing, right? Foods are life gain. Might take the life gain guy, though. It's a guy. The problem... Yeah, and he has 4 power. We have a couple things that trigger off 4 power. I still think you take the truffle guy, even though it's life gain that we don't care about necessarily. Maybe cracking that clue saves you sometime in the future. You never know. A classic. Classic Sarah Angel. Rip. That is pretty good. I think I like Savior. Let's see. I think you want this cat, my guy. I think you want that cat. It draws a card. That's really good. What is the elf giant at the bottom? Oh, it's not even an elf. Oh, okay, play a land, get an elf. I like the cat better than I like that. That cat is like a great draw. If we could draw like 4 more of those cats in these packs somehow, even though it's impossible. Yeah, we're very close to done. Now we're going to take anything that looks playable. What's that? What is Gleaming Barrier? It's a wall. Ugh. Alright, I think we take another Stomper and then we just end up not playing all of them. We don't want like 5 of these big guys, but... What is that huge guy? Let's go. That's it. Yeah, it's not great. Maybe take the Make Your Move. Yeah. You probably don't play this card anyway. I think either one of those... The giant guy is hilarious, but I don't think you would play him. But... yeah. The problem with that card is that you're going to end up cutting it because we have like Stroke of Midnight and the Bite Down stuff anyway. But it's better than the giant guy. Because the giant guy dies to that 3-mana spell, and then you feel real bad. Gold? I think Gold Vein pick, yeah. Yeah, but it also is a... it puts it on top, right? So you don't get the land till next turn, and then it... yeah, we are... okay. You can take the dude. Well, pick your favorite that you don't want someone else to have. I don't think that's the best one here. But it doesn't matter. Sure. Yeah, let's take that one. And stick it in our sideboard and never look at it again. Take the Spitfire. Spitfire Lagak is pretty good. But I guess red was wide open. Yeah, I guess. Or take Firebrand. Firebrand's alright. That card is the Llanowar Elf Sniper. That's what that guy is. Would you... yeah, you're not going to play the Catan. And you may as well take the card that isn't the Forest, because you can get Forest. Well... so, I think... you have an option here, which I don't know that we're going to do. So this is your warning that, hey, like, if you have more than 4 of a card, you get a little bit of vault progress, which is always been the case. So, you know, if you wanted to be like a fancy pants, you could go, oh, well, I got all these red cards now. Do I want to switch to green-red? I think the answer is no, but, you know. Yes. So let's scroll our deck here. Let's take a look. I want to see the bottom part of the deck. I want to make sure we got... yeah, I just want to make sure we got all the stuff out. So how many lands are in here? Okay, that's the number we want. A bunch of plains and mountains, I think. Or yeah, plains and forests. That's fine. Most of our big stuff is green, so tilting towards green is probably good. Do we have a bunch of cards that are double white up farther? I don't think we do. Okay, good. Most of our stuff is... that's the only stuff we have that's... the only stuff we have that is double green, and we're tilting green, so that's pretty good. Maybe... I know... let's look at that courtyard again. Only to cast a creature that... yep, and I think you may be putting a forest. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think that card is worth keeping for sure. So I think we cut one of the fat elephants. We don't need 2 of those. The Death Touch range is nice if they have a big flyer or something. It's good to have like some way to block flyers. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we cut one of those and this guy also, because we have the Armosaur guides, which are better than both of those, I would say. Well, they're about the same, honestly. Okay, you have to attack with 3 creatures, right? So the problem is you may not be able to. Right. Yeah, maybe let's cut an Armosaur and then scroll up and see what we got up here. I want to make sure we're not dumping too many of our creatures. So we have some ramp. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah. In general, you know, we also don't want to dump all our creatures with 4 power for Sylvan Scavenging, because that'll be an easy way to just repeatedly get raccoons. I think the Broken Wings goes. We're playing best of 1 here. I don't think you're going to have a chance to, like, hold on to a card that can only do stuff against certain types. Yeah, I think you probably cut. I think Broken Wings is better than Make Your Move because it doesn't have a. Yeah. So, Stroke of Midnight you keep. Look at Broken Wings again. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. So you can only get flying creatures. You can't get regular creatures. And then you can only get artifacts or enchantments. Yeah, I think Broken Wings goes with your bite downs or bushwhack or whatever. Yeah. I think you have a lot of fight spells, so I don't think you need to worry too much about, like, yeah, if they play like a 7/7 or whatever, you're going to have trouble killing it. But it's a 7/7, you're going to have trouble killing it anyway. I'm not super excited about the wolf, but it does have the ability to screw with their graveyard, so if someone's trying to like reanimate one really big cool card for cheap, you can stop them with that. That seems pretty fine, yeah. I'm not interested in getting rid of that. Campus Guide is not awesome, but, you know, we need people, and it's a people. Yeah. Maybe we... Or cut 1 Inspiring Call. Do we need 2? 3 mana. 15 creatures, 6 instants, 2 sorceries, 1 enchantment. You're definitely tilted more towards creatures, which is where you want to be. I think, yeah, cut 1 Inspiring Call, maybe? I think you keep the wolf just to have some dudes, you know? I like that dude better than I like a second The thing is, the 1 Inspiring Call is amazing. Is the second Inspiring Call? Although drawing a card is pretty good. Yeah. I mean, you're probably getting 1 card out of this, right? Like, most of the time. Because people are going to be blowing your creatures up, they're going to be dying, you're going to be blocking, like... You're not likely to get, like, 5 cards out of that. Yeah, okay, we can get rid of the wolf, I guess. The wolf's not that good. The wolf only affects their graveyard and nothing else. It has flash, which is cool, but the Trouble Snout is repeatable, right? It's every time you attack. Alright, this is 40. I mean, you're never happy, right? The nice thing about this format, though, is that you can then alter it later. If you decide you want to make a change after your first game, you can come in and alter it. Yeah, or whatever, right? Yeah, let's play one game. Can't go too much longer, but I do want to play one game. Yeah, draft is... Well, the normal process is much quicker because you don't get to sit around and think about all the picks. Because you get like 1.5 minutes per... you get like 1 minute and 30 seconds per pick, and it decreases as the draft goes on. I got a lot of them. That's how I feel. Well, you don't have many 1-drops anyway, so you're never gonna... Like, your deck doesn't have that. Here... Do you have a mix of lands and spells that you could play? Yes, I think we keep it. Like, yeah, we can't play that Inspiring Paladin, but we can get it with the Campus Guide and then hope to play it that turn. So, I think we're alright. I mean, you know, people are... It's so weird that I can't hear the game. But, yeah. 1-drops are less common. Look, man, you can just... No, I can't hear your game audio. Yeah, I think you just Campus Guide him right back. Campus Guide me, I'll Campus Guide you. And you put a... And you put a Plains on top. And you show it. He has a Plains, you have a Plains. What up? Alright, so he has synergies for letting these guys die, unfortunately. What's it? Campus Guide doesn't do anything when it dies, right? No? Yeah. Wait, why? That lets him trade his guy off and he gets a trigger off the Blood Witch, right? You get nothing out of this. Just take it in the face. Yeah, but like, what if you can use the creature to be better later? Now you have, yeah, now you slam this dude. Now you have a block that he can't do anything with. So like, you know, his other, if he wants to trade his Blood Witch for your Campus Guide, you should be happy about that. The Healer's Hawk too, honestly, because like, and now he can't attack you with that Campus Guide again. You just block the trigger. Yeah, he can, and then you block it and you laugh. Yeah, that's not good. We would like to get rid of that if we draw one of the cards that let us do that. Target permanent from your... Yep. Yeah, or do you leave mana open for the Inspiring Call? Is the Inspiring Call instant? It is. Oh, yeah, well, but the indestructible thing is the thing. I think he still played the Burnished Heart. Because you can use it to blow out his attack, right? So you block with your Inspiring Paladin, Inspiring Call. Oh, you have to block with both his menace, I guess. And then blow out his attack. But yeah, just play the heart. Back on the turn. I can't think about it any further. No. Yeah, I think you don't attack. He doesn't have a terribly profitable attack on you here with Lateral, so maybe you won't do it. Because you'll sacrifice the Campus Guide if he attacks with and the Paladin if he attacks with Lateral, because you don't want him getting 5-1. Oh, so you can look at this, all works out. We just need... we want to play that Indrik next turn and use it to destroy his Lateral. How much does that cost? It costs 3. We get 2 lands? Yeah, do it. I think it's our only option here. I think. We have enough to do both, so I think we take one of each, maybe? Or take 2 planes. Which do we have more of left in the deck? Okay, take the planes. Again, we will trade our 2 things for his Lathril if he attacks. I don't think he will. Now we get to kill Lathril, exactly. Maybe he doesn't have stuff to play. We may do that later. But I think we kill his Lathril is the first thing we do. And then you can attack with the Paladin. Because we'll trade the campus guides for the Blood Witch, right? We have nothing that can block the Healer's Hawk anyway. And he doesn't kill anything. You have first strike. His stuff dies and you win. It's awesome. Yeah, I don't think he blocks here. I wouldn't if I was him. Yeah, if he wants to trade campus guides, we can. Yeah, but he still can't attack with the Blood Witch because you have the 4/4, right? Okay, we need to get rid of that Pride Mate. ASAP. Draw something that lets us kill it, hopefully. From your hand, you don't have an option. Maybe he gets greedy and attacks with it next turn, and we can like try and do something. I don't know. Alright. What's our big guy do? Big guy? Yeah, the wolf would help if he attacks. He probably wouldn't attack with the 4/4. What does the Stomper do? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. We don't need life. I think we do. I think I would just put it on your biggest guy and just make a bigger guy. You only get to put it on a single target creature. So now it has first strike. So the question is, do you attack here? I think we don't. I guess you have a chance to block the Pride Mate anyway, right? Because he can only be... Yeah, I guess that's true. It has Vigilance. You might as well attack with it. I forgot that it has Vigilance. Oh, that one doesn't. Yeah. So the question is, do you leave the 6/6 or the 3/3 back for blocking? Like, would it help to have 2 blockers here? Yeah. Okay. The 6/6 is... The 6/6 is big enough that he can't just, like, pass it and try to needle you out with the Blood Witch forever. You'll outpace his damage. Yep. I mean, you can't continuously. But, like, yeah, if he wants to race, you can race now. Yeah. What does that do? Gains life, he surveils. The problem here now is going to be that he's going to keep growing that Pride Mate. That's a problem. Let's see what we get. Yeah. Any of your bite or attack spells. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's not ideal. All right, Arm Sword Guide's not bad here. What is... you could Elvish Regrower and get your Paladin back. How much mana do you have? 8. Yeah, Inspiring Call is an instant, right? No, you wouldn't do all anything. So let's Elvish Regrow and get the Paladin back for sure. Plus the 4/4 is what he rolls, so. Now, you offer the trade between the Vigilance Elephant and the Johnny's Pride Mate. If he lets you do this, you say yes. Because it doesn't hurt you to attack. No, you attack. No. But you may play it. but you're going to decide. So you attack with just the elephant. Yeah, leave your 6/6 back because his Ajani is going to keep getting bigger and it's going to become a problem. If he blocks, you can Inspiring Call. He's not going to block probably, but then you get 4 damage for free, and we'll take that. Okay, so now your options are, do you keep the Inspiring Call up or do you play the Paladin? Because if he attacks you this turn, right, with anything that you can block, Inspiring Call blows them out. The Paladin doesn't do anything on attacks, but it's very good. Oh, he has no cards in his hand. Okay. I guess you do play the Paladin. Well, I don't think he just attack. I think he's only going to attack with the flyers at this point, right? So then we play the Paladin. I didn't realize he had no cards. Because I was like, well, what if he has a spell that'll kill your thing or whatever? He only has 1 card. He's not probably not going to have a spell. So the question here is, do you just, 1A across the board and blow him out with Inspiring Call, hopefully? I think you do. Yeah, I think you do. Hope he blocks bad. I hope he blocks in a way that helps you more than him. And then all your creatures get... No, you're already in combat, so you don't have an option to do that. Also, doesn't Armosaur Guide have to have it self-attacking? We could have played that first. Do we have enough mana to do both? Correct. Yeah, you wait for his blockers. Okay, that's a misplay on us. We should have done that. Yeah. What does Inspiring Call say about drawing cards? It's only the creatures with +1/+1 that draw. Okay, and only the creatures. So only the creatures with +1/+1 counters get indestructible, which is unfortunate, because it does mean you're going to be trading the elephant off here. But this is a pretty good attack for you. You're going to clear his board, and I mean you draw. Yeah, I think you don't. You don't need to. You just get 1 card, and you're going to kill the hawk anyway. He doesn't get any triggers off of that, which is nice. And so he's gonna, yeah, because he gained life, so his Ajani is gonna grow, right? This was his plan the whole time. But we couldn't have prevented it, right? Even if you cast Inspiring Call, the only thing that gets the counter is or that gets indestructible is the thing that we took out his other flyer, that's good. Now we can play the Armosaur. We have an Armosaur. What? Why would we get killed? Yeah. Inspiring Call does nothing. No creatures have +1 counters, right? That are untapped. And now we can, when we attack next turn, if he attacks now, you double block and kill his Pride Beast, right? You'd be a fool. Yeah, I think he keeps the heart for blockers because he's worried that you're going to destroy it, which is reasonable. So how does Armosaur Guide work? Does it put the counter when you attack? Okay, so you put that on the 6. Oh no, the 6/6 will have first strike. So you put it on the Paladin. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but you could do that after combat. It's not going to make a difference, right? Oh, you can Surveil. Surveil goes to the graveyard to be clear. That's a pretty good card. Yep. 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 Yeah, and I think you push across the board again, and he'll probably try and block in a way that kills the Paladin. That's the plan. He has an action. He could sacrifice the Burnished Heart. I don't know why he would do that. I tried to be charitable. Yeah, so we put it on the Paladin. Yep. And then I think he'll block the paladin. Yeah, wait for blockers. Always wait for blockers. I assume he'll try and block the paladin again because he doesn't want your guys having first strike constantly. Because he can't block the pride mate with the pride mate can't block the 6 cost guy or the 6 power guys because he'll die to first strike damage. Yeah. Let's see. The nice thing about being the aggressor is math is for blockers. It's his problem, not yours. It's going to win us the game here because you were able to finally get a second +1/+1, right? Previously, it was just like 3 mana, draw 1 card, and make a guy that didn't matter indestructible. Now you do this. Let's hope that card. So now he sacks the Burnished Heart because he blocked you for free, got some lands. Your guy's indestructible. Can we use this to kill his pride mate? No. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, he doesn't take 6. He doesn't take 6. He blocked. So, yeah, he blocked it already. So we're good. We let this resolve. Nothing's gonna die from us. His Hawk dies, so he doesn't have any more ways to gain life. Get in for 4, and then next turn we can fly. It doesn't die, it's indestructible. Now we play that Nessian Hornbeetle too. Yeah, so you play the Hornbeetle so that next turn at the beginning of your combat it gets a... and we can keep the food because you can sack it at instant speed if he tries to do something. Okay, we can cast it on his turn. Like, put a stop at the... click the, like, end of his faces over there. Don't click past her. Up on his picture. Click at the stop on opponent's end. Yeah. Click that. There you go. So now it won't pass until it gets there, but it will absolutely require it to stop there. Yeah. He was screwed. You had nothing. He had nothing. Good stuff, man. Yeah. So the way these drafts work, I think you play until you get 3 losses. Yeah. So you can go in and tune your deck a little more if you want to like add that other expiring callback or do some other stuff. You can. I think maybe we call it here. Leave the rest of the playing up to you. Yeah. Looks like it was. Yeah, I hear you. It's one of those where you really do have to be careful because quick draft is nice because you just jump in there, you can take as long as you want, you can think about all your picks, all that stuff.